Alrighty, hello everybody, and we're back to Malt for another very exciting matchup. Starting a little bit late, trying to get some things organized on the back end, making sure the players are ready for the match that is to come. It is going to be Shikitashi taking on C Latte at this 15 UTC hour, just making sure the lobby is ready and the players are ready to go here. But until then, a sign of things to come. We do have a match at 16 UTC. It is going to be Playboy Cardi going up against EUB. Then afterwards at 19 and 20 UTC, we have Hall of the Wise taking on Mabels and Evaluation taking on Poketwan to round out what has been a very exciting playoffs weekend. As always, my name is Sparky, and I am going to be doing a bit of a solo job here in the commentary booth once again as we wind down this playoffs weekend. And as you can see on the schedule, the last couple of matches that are to come and some of the results that have occurred. A couple of upsets making their way through, a couple of win by defaults as well. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. So it looks like we do have everybody in the lobby here, ready to get this match underway. Just gonna make sure we have everybody in the correct spot. It's gonna be Shikitashi on the left, C Latte on the right. And before too long, we'll be getting into the roles here. Gonna see who decides the ban and pick order first. And of course, the map pool up on screen for y'all now, as we see the 78 coming out from Shikitashi here. Answer back by the 49 of C Latte, so Shikitashi does win the roll. That does mean that C Latte does get the virtue of banning first. And we'll be waiting to see what the ban is here. There's a couple of options that they can probably go for. think everybody kind of eyes up LN2 as the default ban for at least one of the players. But Hybrid 2 has been getting some attention as well, along with Rice 4, so a couple of varying options for the players to knock out of this pool so that they don't have to deal with it during the match. And it's a good thing too, because in the short format, best of 7, there's not a lot of room for error, especially in the single elimination format. Once you get into the bracket, you do get that double elimination format that everybody's used to, but for the playoffs, you only have one opportunity to make your mark on this tournament. If not, then you will be done for the remainder of the tournament. So better make it count. Make sure these picks are fantastic. Right now, C Latte asking what they need to do here. So we'll get this cleared up for y'all, so we can continue on here. Yeah, it looks like it is going to be Speedcore Sonata getting banned out from the pool after some deliberation. Maybe just thinking, okay, what's the map I performed the worst on during practice and getting rid of that. So not going to be played in this pool. And level 0 actually going to receive a ban as well. So a double rice ban, pretty rare in this playoff stage. Not unheard of, definitely have seen a couple permutations of a double rice ban occur during this weekend, but leaving the entirety of the LN hybrid pool untouched is definitely something we don't see all that often, and probably won't see all that often during this tournament, as Hybrid 1 becomes the first pick of this match. And after a bit of delay, we are officially underway with the first map of this best of 7. It is going to be Shikitashi taking on C Latte for an opportunity to play in that round of 32 bracket. We have a majority of the players that will be making up the back half of that bracket, already outlined, just a few more spots left to fill. So these players gonna try and make sure their name is in that bracket at the expense of their opponent. And as we get underway here, it looks like CLOT going to take a bit of an accuracy advantage. Going to start to even out here as the map begins to progress. And actually, Shikitashi going to be able to take the advantage right back here as the players trade back and forth in terms of 300 counts and the 200s popping up every now and again. But very importantly, both players make it through to that 400 combo cap with their FCs still intact, separated by only 0.2% at the moment. As I say that, on the transition into this next stream section, CLOT actually picking up the break here, going to give Shikitashi a bit more of an advantage to work with as they climb back up into that 99% mark. And now CLOT going to need to put in a bit of work here to rebuild their accuracy, rebuild that combo as well. The good thing with these hybrids is that there is a bit more density in the amount of notes during the map, so building up your combo shouldn't be all that hard. You just got to be able to keep it intact after you cross that 400 combo mark, and they do successfully do so here. Gonna be able to stem the bleeding just a little bit as they climb back, but as I say that, they fall once again here going into the last quarter of the chart. Gonna build this advantage as both players trade again on the transition. The rapid back and forth across the stage, a little bit too much for both of them to handle, and these trades only help out Shikitashi in this regard as they're still firmly ahead at the moment, building their margin to about 23,000 points and a very comfortable first pick at the end of the day for them as they close this out to make it 1-0 now. So now we get into what will be CLOT's first pick in this match. A couple of rice picks left on the board. Jade Star and Luminous Descent, two very good options. And the entirety of that bottom half of the map pool open as well. It just depends on what they're going to want to go for here. Right now, waiting on our referee to wake up, continue proceedings here. Yeah, it looks like Hybrid 2 is going to be the pick for CLOT, continuing on in this hybrid side of the pool. Looks like Banjo ate some messages here as we loaded back in. But thankfully they are still here. And it will be Kaibutsu, one of the longest maps in this pool. Definitely one of the hardest as well. Has given a number of players a spot of bother as they made their way through it. I like to consider this kind of the initiation into the round of 32 bracket. If you can handle something like this, that round of 32 bracket shouldn't be all that hard. And as we get underway here, strong start for CLOT to get underway here. Does pick up a couple of 200s in response to Shikitashi's very early ones. And the lead shifts over for the moment. We haven't really got into the hardest parts of this chart, so you can imagine this lead is going to be very fragile for very long portions of this map as The lead is about 0.2% in favor of Shikitashi, but it is hundreds of points between the two players as we get into the first chorus section here. I was about to say, both players finding a really good job climbing in terms of accuracy, but Shikitashi actually finding the first drop here, a pretty significant one as well. Falling from their perch down into the 98% range. Silate does join them down there, but they find the drop on the transition out of that section into the bridge into the next verse, going into the second quarter of the chart, but Shikitashi not able to capitalize on that drop, be able to wrench back some of this lead, and Silate takes advantage once again here. Despite having the accuracy deficit, now they have the miss in hand. And as we get into this breakdown section, going into the back half of the map, Shikitashi has managed to take the lead back by virtue of Silate finding a miss earlier on. Now taking that accuracy advantage along with the score lead. There's still plenty of time here though. These players have been trading these misses back and forth with seeming regularity during this chart, so definitely not out of the woods if you are Shikitashi. Gonna need to hang on as best as they can. The gap about 0.4%, 10,000 points between the two players, as both of them seeming to have regained their bearings. The most significant aspects of their combo being regained here as we get into arguably one of the harder sections, these anchored LNs with the notes in between catching out Silate here during the transition into it. And that's going to help grow this lead for Shikitashi. A couple misses now from Silate, not answered back. And the lead grows to about 22,000 points as we get into this outro here. Last level of the chart left to go. Shikitashi does finally find a couple of slider breaks here very late on, but I think they have built up enough of a cushion where it wouldn't matter. And sure enough, 20,000 points the margin between the two of them, and Shikitashi takes the first break point in this match to make it 2-0 now. Will be Shikitashi up to pick once again. These hybrids have worked out in their favor. Would not be surprised if we saw Battleground just to round out that category. That being said, Surf and Agito are also on the board here, but no, it's going to be Battleground to round out this hybrid pool. And here we go, third map of this best of 7. Shikitashi looking to try and make it a match point situation. Very strong start from them. Silate needing to pick up the pace here a little bit, down into that 97% range momentarily before climbing back up. It is very early going, so getting through this opening onslaught with your combo still intact is arguably more important than making it through with some good combo or some good accuracy, because you will be able to build that back up before too long. bit more staircase-oriented streams for the players to navigate, and Shikitashi with the highest accuracy we've seen so far out of either player this match, 99.6, about 0.8% ahead of C Latte for the moment here. And still we continue on, back half of the map still to come, both FCs still intact here for both players. And with only a third of the chart left to go here, the lead still firmly in favor of Shikitashi, despite the fact that both players putting their best foot forward right now. Shikitashi just doing everything they can to not give back an inch here. 19,000 points by virtue of the accuracy alone between the two players. Now we continue into the last couple of notes of the chart. Shikitashi and C Latte able to hold on to their FCs, but accuracy prevails at the end of the day for 200s. A very dominant performance from Shikitashi. C Latte not too far behind. It's just that 200 count really doing them in at the end of the day, and it is now 3-0. And now we wait for C Latte to make their next pick. The hybrids are now all gone. Shikitashi running the gamut there, 3 for 3 on those picks. Gonna see if we go into a dedicated LN pick or go into one of the dedicated rice picks still left in the pool. It's gonna be LN1, so Agito to try and let C Latte back into this match. So here we go, Shikitashi on the verge of punching their ticket into that round of 32 bracket, needing to close this out on LN1. C Latte looking to try and bring themselves back into this match. Gonna need to force a tiebreaker to see themselves through here. Not out of it just yet, but definitely can become a mountain to climb if they're not too careful. And as we make our way into the second third of the chart, another big disparity being built up here between the two players, despite holding on to their respective FCs. About a full percent separating both players. Shikitashi with that 99.9% accuracy, not really perturbed by the coordination elements found in this chart, but that can change in an instant. We have seen runs fall apart by singular slider breaks, can account for tens of thousands of points if they're not too careful, but for right now, building up a bit of a healthy cushion because of that accuracy advantage. And both players making it through those streams unscathed. Last quarter of the chart left to go. Last quarter of time for Latte to get themselves back into this. Doing everything in their power to hold on to this FC, but Shikitashi not making it easy for them to make any sort of impact on this chart. And with it quickly coming to an end here, last 8th left to go. It looks like the window of opportunity is quickly closing on Latte's tournament run. And with that being said, last note comes down and Shikitashi will successfully punch their ticket into the round of 32 bracket by a score of 4-0, knocking Latte out during the playoff stage. A V1 double S to put a nice little bow on proceedings here. Congratulations to them on a very strong performance. Commiserations to Latte there. There was a chance that this match might not have even happened, and they managed to find a way to get themselves into this match, so gotta commend them for that. And giving Shikitashi a bit of a run for their money. Definitely did not make it easy for them to make it through here at the end of the day. So that will do it for this match. Only 2 more left to go before, or actually 3 more left to go before we say goodbye to the playoff stage. It will be Playboy Cardi going up against Yubi at 16 UTC in about 31 minutes, followed by Hollow the Wise taking on Mabels and Evaluation taking on Poketwan at 19 and 20 UTC respectively. So until then, we'll catch you guys later.